Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Shedmouth Junction, where today we're going to have a little look at some layout updates. Okay, so here we are, and thank you for joining us one more time in the shed. And I thought I'd go over today a little bit about what's been going on in my mind and what's been happening in the shed on the layout, and just go over really where we are with it. As you know, that we're doing a multi-scale layout on the top here on the shelf using TT120, 00 gauge, and potentially in the future at some point maybe N as well. But for the time being, 00 gauge and TT120 running side by side. And so obviously we couldn't have the current setup we did have with the up and down line in 00s. That all came up a few weeks ago, and I've been thinking about how I can make a shelf layout quite interesting. Previously we had just straight lines, perfectly straight, double line around the whole layout with a couple of sidings at the back there. What I've tried to create now is a single line with a few curves, few sweeping curves into the corners, and different radius of the corners. We've got, I think, 3 radius 3 corners and 1 radius 4 at the back. So it kind of moves and meanders. That's a good word. Meanders around the shelf on a single loop. It does have 1 siding down at the back as well. Now, looking at this, I've had to really think about this quite hard. The way I've designed the shelving to go up there, it can come down easily enough, no problem at all. But it wouldn't come down as a railway layout. It would come down as a set of shelves. And why I'm thinking about this, would it come down or will it won't come down, is the fact that I don't own my house. It's a private renting, and at any point my landlord might say to me, you know, I need to sell the house or whatever, and you've got to move out. Which means all the money I've poured into buying this shed and having the base made and that sort of stuff, it's my own. I'd sacrifice it basically. I'd have no choice. I couldn't take it with me. And so I'm reluctant to put anything in here mega permanent. Yes, the shelf itself could come down, but where would I put it in if I had to move house in somewhere new? I'd have to have a shed identical for it to even fit. So to a point, the shed and the actual shelf itself would be sacrificed and have to be left behind. But what I didn't want to do was leave all the money in terms of the track and the layout on it. I'd have to take that with me. I wouldn't want to leave that here. So it needs to have a function of a shelf once I've gone. And this could be, you know, I might be here for another 10, 15 years. I might be here for 10 months, depending on if the landlord wants to move out or set up at any point. So living with that kind of constant, we have to move out at some point, it's never nice. And I'm never in a position to buy my own place. But either way, so that's been back in my head. How am I going to do all this and keep it so it's removable? I can take it with me and keep the stuff. So the plan I've got is, I do want to put scenic up there. I really, really do. But it won't be the door and end all of scenic. It'll have the TT layout. It'll have the 00 layout. I will be incorporating hills and embankments, but I'm going to try and make them on the workbench and then slot them into place so they can take off and on again quite easily. There will be static grass involved and that sort of stuff, but again, I plan to almost create templates of where I want the grass to be, and then put static grass on like a card template, if you like, and then place it on top of the shelf. So it can all come off with me and be removed. And if I do have to move house, the shelf is still a plain wooden shelf for someone else. So a lot of work, a lot of thoughts going into how I'm going to do this and how I'm going to make it so I can take it with me as such. And I think I've kind of got it in my head. Anyway, so where I've got to so far is the 00 gauge track is now semi-pinned down in position. Although I've only got really 1 set of wires feeding the power at the very far end by the door and under the bridge section that goes across the door. I do intend to actually run a bus wire through and a few droppers, just maybe every other piece of track, if you catch my drift, just because what I don't want to do is get it all down, get it all looking really good, and then have a dodgy connection somewhere and have to take it all up again. So just to keep it reliable. And now it's on the own DC, it's not DCC. If I can get a constant power feed all the way around, I will do. And the same on the TT120 track. I think that it's well worth doing. And if I do decide to go DCC with it later on, the droppers and the bus wire is already there. So that'll be going in the next couple of days, and getting all wired in properly. But the layout, I think I'm quite happy with the layout right now. It does meander around the shelf. It's not in a straight line. I think it's far more interesting. On the TT side of things, if you look back here, you'll see just there 2 TT wagons. Now they're sitting, roughly speaking, about 2 inches higher than the actual 00 layout. I thought I'd put them behind the 00 layout because I wanted to try and create a little bit of a forced depth of field, if you catch what a forced, you know what I mean, a forced perspective. There we go. It's a very short perspective, but it should hopefully create something quite interesting. I've put it at the same level as 00. At the back there, you wouldn't even see it because there'd be a siding there of 00 coaches. There's actually one sat in there right now. And behind that, you wouldn't even see the TTs in there. So, again, that's more of a single track run again around the shed, but sitting at a high level. So you'll be able to see both as they pass. I had originally intended to have them crossing over at some point, but it overcomplicated it and kept them running in the same, just next to each other would be absolutely fine. More than complicated enough. So that's where my shelf is at the moment. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I'm looking forward to it. When it gets a bit warmer out here, I'll come out and do a bit more to it and get a bit more involved. With regards to the base layout, which will be down here, which I'm going to model the Tenterden station from the Kent and East Sussex Railway. I've now inherited some really decent plywood, which is really, really good. So that saves me buying that. And as soon as I've got this lot cleared up and messed out of the way, I can start building the baseboard for that. And again, that's going to be in 00, and I'm really looking forward to that. I've already started collecting little bits and pieces. And the Kent and East Sussex Railway does have a range of rolling stock. Some of them are like the traditional passenger coaches, and some of them are a bit older, from 1920s, I do believe. And trying to find something in model terms that mimics exactly what's on the Kent and East Sussex Railway is actually quite difficult. I've done quite a bit of research on trying to find the exact type of passenger coaches that they've got there, and it's really, really hard. So got a funny feeling a little bit of artistic license is going to come into this. One coach that does look quite accurate to what I need are the Genesis coaches that Hattons were doing, which I now believe have gone to a Cura scale. Could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's a Cura scale going to be doing them. So they might be worth a look at and might be nearer to what I need to have a representation of the coaches. That said, I went to the Hornby sales the other day and I found 2 of these. These are fairly close to what I'm after, may come in useful. And these are the there's my glasses, hang on. And these are, find my glasses. These are the R40103 GNR first class 4-wheel coaches with lights. Okay, now these look brilliant in the teak finish, complete with lights, and they were discounted quite heavily, and they were down to just £20 each. So I've got 2 of them, the last 2 they had, and I think they might come in fairly useful in the future. If they don't, then I can always sell them on, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to a half decent representation of what I need. So already I'm collecting bits and pieces as I see them for the future layout of the Kent and East Sussex Railway. So really that's all that's happened on the layout since I spoke to you last about my intentions. Haven't had a massive amount of progress, lots more thinking time than actual practical work. And I didn't feel there was much point in making a video of me ripping some track up and laying down a new 00 gauge track. It didn't seem really worth it. So I will make videos as I put the TT stuff down next to it, because that's been quite interesting, the way the two are going to hopefully work together. On the subject of TT, my last video was a massive thank you to Greg from Mac Trains for donating me a wonderful TT wagon. But it seems to me the donations haven't stopped there. Very nice local chap to me, Rob. I'm sure he won't mind mentioning this. He knows me from my work. As you know, I work in the local bike shop, and he'd recognised me ages ago on YouTube from my work. And bless him, he came in the other day with a little gift for me. And this is absolutely lovely. And I'm, again, hugely grateful, Rob. So thank you very, very much indeed. A wonderful little donation. TT120, of course, au naturel. It's a little bag. of buffer stops, which are going to come in very, very handy. I have absolutely no doubt. And it's very, very kind of you, Rob. Thank you very, very much indeed. And yeah, can't thank everyone enough. Everyone's been so generous and so kind. It's been really, really wonderful. So thank you very, very much to Rob. Thank you very, very much to Greg. Blown away. Absolutely blown away. So yes. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time on Shelburne Junction. Thank you very much for joining me, and see you soon. Thank you.